Hey everybody, Alex here with Momentum Charting. Today we are going to be looking at the chart of CLOV, Clover Health. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not, welcome back. Please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Doing both of those things is the only way to ensure you do not miss any updates over the next couple weeks on CLOV. Some really important and really exciting things coming in the not too distant future. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for subscribing. Let's dive in here to the chart. So we are looking at a broad time frame as usual to try to get a large overall picture. And here we are on CLOV, and I'm going to use a couple of basic charts to kind of illustrate what I think is happening here. Again, on the daily chart inside TradingView, and you can see, guys, basically that over the history of CLOV, what's been happening is just this thing gains momentum to the upside and then just retraces, gains momentum, retraces. And we've had a pretty big sell-off. Let's see exactly what this was. Yeah, so far, little over 70%, around 72% since the highs of 28.79 on June 9th, and it's just been a pretty brutal few weeks here for CLOV holders of CLOV Health. And let's see if we can kind of pick off a place or an idea of what's going to happen next. And you know, we can't be certain looking into the future kind of what's happening. This is kind of interesting here. Possible megaphone type structure. I just noticed that, so I'm going to set that there for potential to look at in the future. But that's not important for now. We can't be sure, guys, when this thing is going to breach these upper ends of overhead resistance and start really moving higher in earnest and start breaking these $30 and $50 levels. But what we can be pretty sure of is that it looks like we continually try to form these bases and then blast off from there. And that again looks like what's basically trying to happen. And we have this really strong support that's formed here at around the 678 level. Okay, again on the daily time frame. So would it be surprising if prices headed back towards that area and we were able to pick off a bottom and get a nice move to the upside again? No, to me not at all. And that is what seems to be the most reasonable thing to happen. And I have gotten more granular here and down to the 1 hour chart. And what I am waiting for here quite specifically, guys, you can see the last two times this has happened. One here around middle of April, and then again towards the end of May, and we were able to get these nice spikes up in price. Yes, this upside run here in middle of April did fail back to the downside, even though there was some upside price. But this one here towards the end of May continued much higher. We went all the way from $7 again up to 28 or so. So I'm looking for one of these similar scenarios here, and you can see there was another one back in December 2020, had this nice spike up in price. So I'm going to be looking for something very similar, and so what I'm going to be looking for is a break over the these moving averages, right? I've got this cluster of moving averages here, the 200, the 50, and the 125. So I'm going to be looking for something very similar to that on the 1 hour time frame, and for us to break above those. And you can see we're not there yet. Looks like potentially we're forming a little bit of support in this area around 782. But what I want to happen is for this support to come down here. It looks like we're sort of on this trajectory here, and for CLOV price to just start moving sideways and break break that overhead moving average resistance and starts putting in this series of higher highs and higher lows and get a structure in place here, exactly like happened on towards the end of May here, early June. And you can see that here. I'll get us a little bit closer so we can see how that happened here. So let's see, let's get rid of this here. You can see here where I've got that support line set up again on the 1 hour, and that's the way you set these up, and they continue to move higher over time. But I want to get some structure in place here, a series of higher highs, higher lows that will enable us to carry higher on CLOV. You can see here this thing just popped up over the period of from $7 to $10.48. Let's see on a percentage basis what that is. Yeah, 30% here in just a couple of days. That's a really, really sharp spike up in price, and didn't set up a fantastic trend line for us on the 1 hour, although we did kind of start getting that here in the middle of April and had this other nice spike, but then we eventually failed. So we are going to be getting hopefully something that looks a little bit more like this here towards the end of May, where you had this nice subtle start moving up in prices, and eventually this thing just exploded to the upside. So that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for in CLOV, and it looks to me if these moving averages and price here on CLOV were to meet up potentially sometime within the next 7 to 14 days, so the next 2 to 3 weeks of trading maybe. So you're definitely going to want to stay subscribed to the channel. I'm going to be watching this very carefully to see when a potential entry point in CLOV presents itself for short-term, long-term swing traders, everybody like that. So I'm going to be watching this closely, and then so that's going to be exactly what I'm looking for on CLOV. And I did kind of find that interesting. I hadn't noticed that before. I hadn't really taken too deep of a look at the chart, but potentially, you know, that that potentially expanding megaphone pattern, that would be really, really interesting to me. So, you know, who knows for sure, but you know, potentially from these levels, if prices were to explode back to the upside like they've been doing the last 3 times, you've got this area here around $30, right? Maybe higher. Who knows? This wicked right through that that line of resistance. So who knows? Potentially that represents a really nice gain from these current levels. Let's see here. Oh, 200+%, right? So that would be fantastic for investors in CLOV. So let's see if an opportunity like that presents itself. Again, I'll do my best here to get not only an entry in CLOV, but to follow this trend up if and when it does happen, to try to get the best exit possible, and then wait for a renormalization of momentum and sort of a reaccumulation in price, because the way that obviously that has been happening over the past year and change in CLOV, we keep getting these massive spikes and retraces in price, so probably taking some profits off the table when an opportunity does present itself is going to be a very good idea on CLOV. So definitely be watching for that. And then here lastly, I just wanted to show the momentum chart. I want to look for on the momentum specifically. I'm here on the 3 hour. I want to start looking for the first thing is a break over this level at -1.64, but I also want to see, and you can see here we are not quite there yet. I also really want to see this series of higher lows and higher highs, and eventually the break above this 0 line in CLOV, just like we got here in June, which is what caused this big spike to the upside in CLOV. You can see that clearly here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, just this momentum to start carrying to the upside and breaking this 0 line and giving us an opportunity for this massive spike to the upside here that happened just a couple months back, right, in June. So we'll be looking for something like that to develop in CLOV here in the next couple weeks, couple months, something like that. But guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the update on when I present an opportunity for us on CLOV for a nice swing trade. Yeah, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for being here and watching this video. I hope to see you all very soon in the next CLOV update. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Bye for now.